want to check your mic?
Mic check. Oh yeah, Vern's got it. Always got it.
Hello, hello. All right.
Hello. Hello.
You might be four. Try it again.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
You can try it again.
Hello. Should I turn hers up? See three or four.
Both.
Hello. Use your headphones. You said.
There's not.
No, you use headphones to check. Hello.
It's on. It's 3 and 4. Well, 3 and 4. I got it. Unless did we change the numbers? Go ahead.
Hello.
Got 3 and 4 both. It's on.
Hello. Is it on?
Oh.
That's what I was. Whose phone is that?
So, yeah,
Okay. Hello.
we are good.
Whose phone is it? No, that's his phone. Okay, welcome. Hold on, so I've got to turn that down a little bit, I think. It's kind of loud.
Is it coming?
Coming through the speaker, yeah. Welcome to Surviving Life's Tribulations. It's holidays. Been reading a lot of stuff on Facebook and through the news about suicides and a lot of youth committing suicides or death by suicide the last week or so, which brings up emotions in me that I just made it through the weekend a couple weeks ago, and then all of a sudden these emotions are stirring again. So I think the moms group that I started with my sister and some friends is helping quite a bit, because we kind of talk things out and shed some tears and do some laughing and bring back good memories, which kind of help, not erases, but helps the bad memories a little bit, So, and with the holidays, that always seems to put people in a depression. So I think right now, people, you need to go out there and try to uplift somebody's spirit, because you don't know what they're thinking or what they're going through right now. So even if, just watch your words, be kind to each other, especially around the holidays. For some reason, to me, it brings out the evil in people,
Yep.
To me, it does anyway. I just like,
Gotta get that TV.
or just not even being nice, running into the store, and, there always seems to be in a big hustle, bustle, and hurry. Slow down, enjoy life, enjoy the holidays, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you, but, it's not snowing. The weather's good. That's one good thing we look for here in Nebraska. We're going to the bowl game. Got a new coach, Nebraska basketball's doing well. Come on, it's all good here.
I wish Nebraska could have won against Ohio State. I would have loved to see that.
Ohio State is for real, though. Come on, did you watch them play Wisconsin? They're for real.
I'm from Ohio.
Oh, my gosh. I could not. I was shocked. First time I turned on, it was 38-0. I was like, what? Did they forget to show up? They showed up and they played us.
That was a good game.
Wow, yeah, on your side. So anyway, congratulations on your expo this weekend. Sorry I couldn't make it, but I have to do my thing with the kids on the weekends. So, but I heard nothing but good things about it. Good posts on Facebook.
Well,
Good pictures.
Yeah, we had a good time. As always, we're trying to grow. I would like to think that maybe we had like 50 people who weren't involved come. I'm not sure. I didn't check the count number or if we even did it.
Right.
But, it's only the second event for that, so.
Right. Well, you raised some money for the boys. For the Hope Center.
Yeah.
People got a new iPad out of it, and
got a Galaxy
raffle
tablet. Yeah, and it actually ended up being someone from my work.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
boy, see?
yeah.
Now, that's how I got mine. See, and I bet you went through the same thing that we did, thinking, oh, I bet you had that set up.
Well, what I didn't see, I didn't want any parts of that. So what I
Right.
did was I let Jason from the Hope Center draw the name. I didn't draw any names.
Right.
I let all the vendors who provided gifts for the prize or prizes for the raffle
Right.
draw the winner. So I didn't want any parts of
See,
that.
my old host, that's who I got mine through, and he didn't draw it either, but when they pulled my name out, he's just like, my Donna Smith? And they're like, yeah, he had nothing to do with it. So, yeah, so I understand where you're coming from, people thinking it was a setup, but
Yeah, I want no parts in controversy, but I think if anybody knows me, I'm not rigging anything.
right. But
so.
still,
Yeah.
people,
Yeah, but still.
but still, people are still going to say something. So
Yeah.
you know how that goes. We have like I said, negativity right now. People think, well, it's just, I just don't get it. It's not, people driving. What is wrong with people driving today?
Today, oh man,
Today was the worst.
I didn't even take 72nd because of the accident or whatever on the interstate.
Right.
And I actually took today off from work because my wife's birthday is tomorrow, and I took it off to
Have a
hang out.
birthday, wife.
Happy birthday, Mitzi Lee. I didn't even get to hang out with her. I mean, we did hang out. We spent the whole day together, but it wasn't just hanging out. Like, I forgot that I had a dentist appointment today, and then there was a recall on my car, so I had to take it in today and get that taken care of. And then there was a clicking in my car, so I had to take it to our car place to go get it done and fixed. So that's where I'm coming back from, all the way out in Bellevue. To get back to the interstate.
And he was here early.
Yeah,
Early.
'cause I had
That's
to
good
get
for him
ready.
being here 7 minutes early. That's good.
I was here way early. I went to go get something to eat.
See, but still, 7 minutes early walking in here, that is like early for this man, I'm telling you.
Hey, I like to make an entrance. I like
Anyway.
people to know when I walk into the room.
I want to bring up some serious negativity that happened this weekend. We talk a lot about bringing, parents need to be role models for kids, okay? And parents need to spend time with their kids. Well, I learned this weekend there's a time where parents should not be involved with their kids, okay? People, I'm not going to mention it, but where I work out on weekends, okay? The worst experience ever at the job I've had in the 5 years I've been doing this. Two teams playing each other. They admitted they were rivals coming in, but ended up being a verbal knockout, drag-out brawl, almost physical. And the parents and coach, no, one of the coaches. So I'm always pushing for parents to spend time with their kids. But if you're going to spend time with your kids, be a positive role model. If anything, just zip your mouth. I hate to be blunt, but there's a time and a place for that. Mm-hmm. And it's just soured me ever since yesterday. And thank God I got patience and really broad shoulders, because I could have really, been kicking people out, shutting down things, but I didn't. And I don't know. I don't know if it's, like I said, maybe it's just the season. I don't understand what's going on with everybody being so harsh and critical right now. We all need to go on Ellen. She's got the hype going. She's got the 12 days of Christmas going on. Maybe, I don't know. Something's got to change. I just don't get this Christmas holiday. I don't want to drive anymore. I don't want to be in the stores anymore. It's just like, and I try to be the half full type person.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it sours even the ones who are trying to be happy,
Yes. I actually went to Big Lots the other day, and we were talking about like the day after Thanksgiving and whatnot. And I mean, I used to work in retail too, so I definitely get it. I don't understand people though. It's the most wonderful time. No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's
People.
not.
I mean, I just don't understand it. You see all these videos of all these people in these stores the day after. Just, it's like a rugby match. They're trying to get the ball, and they come out with TV.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's not a prize. It's supposed to be a gift.
Yeah.
A gift. A gift is something positive.
Yeah, I saw.
Supposed to be.
I saw a nice little parody video where there was 3 guys in the car. There was a guy driving. There's 2 guys in the back seat. The guy drove them to drop them off to go Black Friday shopping. So they're all excited. They go, and then they break to them coming back into the car. They both have things, but they both are covered in blood. They're like, "Ooh, I got this TV," and the guy's like, "Why are you covered in blood?" "Ooh, I got this radio."
Right.
"Why are you covered in blood?" What? Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's about
Black
right.
Friday, yay.
Yeah. So people, be kind to each other right now. I saw a video on Facebook that we'll get to our guests in a minute. I'm sorry, I just got to vent here a little bit. I saw a really cool video, and one of our guests was on here. She knows who she is, but I kind of like to try this. It was a video, and you've probably seen it on Facebook, about a single mother was in the grocery store, and she didn't have enough money to pay for her groceries. And the gentleman behind her says, "I got it," because and I was just like, so as Brianne, we were talking, on Facebook, talking about, we need to make a collection where we can just stand at a grocery store or see a little child at a toy store wanting this toy so bad and his mother's sitting there in tears because she can't get it for him, and buy it. I know it's only a couple weeks away, but I just think people, do that. Give to others. Save a little bit extra. They say $780, the average amount spent on a person for Christmas.
Not in my house.
Not in my house. I don't know where they get that from.
Maybe during the course of the year.
Still.
Maybe not that.
Yeah, I was just like, whew, where'd that come from? But anyway, take a little bit of that $780 and go out and buy a toy, or, stand at Toys R Us where you see these, parents shopping, and they just have sadness on their face because they can't get what their child wants for Christmas, and help them out, You might actually feel good inside. Maybe they'll bring a little bit to your back. Probably not, but you never know, right? So, anyway, a video kind of, a little bit of positivity going on there. So, anyway, let's talk about our guest here.
How would you like to be introduced? This is Trace Schacht. How do you say your last name?
Schacht.
Schacht. Like Marge Schacht. Same?
Yeah, no.
It's probably spelled different, though.
It's spelled different, and I don't like to be compared to her.
You don't like the Reds?
Not only don't like the Reds, I don't like her.
Okay.
I am a huge baseball fan, though.
I know, because, recently you went down to watch the World Series with the KC Royals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the wild card game, because I'm an A's fan. And the person I went with is a Royals fan.
Gotcha.
And he made me become a Royals fan.
You like Gordon?
Yeah, well, because I'm a Nebraska girl. But, no, I like the A's. I don't care if he is from Nebraska. I like the A's.
There you go. Hey, you like who you like.
Yeah.
So, but yes, she's our guest today. We actually met for the first time at a Light Poetic Ministry event up at UNO with Angelica and Alan Stevenson.
Right.
And then after that, we ran into each other. Well, I think, I don't know if I ran into you before or after we met at the Side Door Lounge that one time.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I hit you up like, hey, do you have any contacts at the Side Door Lounge? I saw you take a picture of it, and post it on Facebook. So that's how we met.
Hey, that's how, we met on here. So, small world, so.
But yeah, so today we want to talk a little bit about, what tribulations you have survived. And I know when we talked before the show on Facebook, we were talking about, we could talk about finances or whatever, just whatever you want to talk about. I mean, of course, we want to at some point get to the leg and what process you went through to come back stronger than ever from that. So, we talk about a little bit about everything.
We have a fan out there. What's up? You can come in. Want to come in? Okay.
But yeah, so, and aside from that, she's a poet. I mean, a very talented poet.
By the way, we need to bring him on the show.
Who?
Alan.
Alan Stevenson?
Yeah, he's on my Facebook, and
he wants to come.
Guy.
We need to have a month, nothing but positive stuff.
he would like to come on. He's one of the guests that I have on the sheet of paper that I listed out. But whenever he has some time, he's working some overtime and stuff nowadays.
Right. We can give him a couple. He can let us know when he wants to be on and do a month of positive reinforcement, positive. Bring light to the good in people.
Yes.
So
He's definitely one of my favorites that I've met out in the community.
Yeah, and he was at our expo on Saturday.
I was on my way, and I was actually chatting with Josh and Mark from the studio.
Oh, okay.
And I was on my way and got an accident, just a slight one.
No.
There was no damage, but the woman insisted on calling the cops, and he comes over to my window, the officer does, and he goes, "There's no damage." I said, "I know." He's like, "So why did you call?" And I go, "I didn't, she did." And he said, "Okay, well, you know what? She's very angry. Just give her your information to appease her." And then he's like, "Get out of the car." So I get out, and he looks at the woman, and he goes, "Next time, don't call when there's no damage."
Yeah.
But
negativity. There we go.
he
Another
put
one.
it on the record that there was no damage.
Yeah. Well,
Because,
good.
but anybody who's ever ridden with me knows that it is not surprising.
Don't let her hear you. She might think you're admitting
That's
to
how
being
I
a
lost
fault.
my leg initially. That's how, yeah.
Ooh, beautiful segue.
I was just gonna say, she opened the door. Come on in, woman. You opened the door, so.
All right, so if you're watching at home or on your phone or whatever, what you can't see is that she is missing her.
Yeah, my right
How
leg.
much is
I'm above knee.
above the knee?
Yep. A few inches above into my thigh. I'd say about 3 to 6.
Okay. And how long ago did this happen?
Oh, well, it was an extended process. I actually was driving to work, and I was working on about 49th and Dodge, and I lived down around 24th and Harney. And so it's a relatively straight shot, right?
Right.
But just in that short time, I fell asleep and hit the cement pole in front of the Radio Shack on 31st. Sailed into the wall of the Radio Shack, smashing into it, and the engine fell in and crushed both my legs and my hips and my left arm and my neck and a kidney, and then severed my right foot, and the fractures in my right leg were, like, both my feet were turned, my legs were turned completely around.
Oh.
And I remember all of it happening, and it took them like close to 2 hours to get me out of the car.
Oh.
And year and a half later, they finally let me go home, and they told me I wasn't probably going to be walking, so I was in a wheelchair. And finally, 2010, after a number of surgeries, I asked them if I just finally was exhausted. I was like, you know what, let's try amputation.
So this happened, back in 2009,
2000. Oh, I'm sorry, 2007.
Okay.
And so then I said, "Hey, well, Dr. McGuire, would you amputate?" And he's like, "Sure." So we amputated 5 days later, and that was fantastic. I was below knee at that point. The place I go, Advanced Prosthetics, got me walking. I got back to doing everything I love to do. But then my knee broke about a year later. Well, apparently it was already broke, the cap of it. So they had to call in specialists, and they called in somebody from Dallas, and they said we want to try a total knee replacement. It's never been done on an amputee.
By the way, she put the fear of God in me earlier, just to let you know. So.
And then after that, after the total knee replacement, I had a seizure from they didn't solder it correctly in the hospital, and it broke the knee open, tore the quads from the bone, and long story short, I don't remember the next 2 weeks, but they eventually, a year later, about 6 to 8 months later, I had, in late 2011, I had 2012, late 2012, October 9th, I had the above knee amputation, and then that took care of everything. So now I walk with a really cool prosthetic.
Now, when you had to go back in, did you have to start from scratch as far as rehab and everything?
Yep. It's totally different to walk as an above knee than it is to walk as below. It's really hard. It's really difficult, and it can be exhausting, and that's why a lot of people who are above knees. When you're below knee, it's kind of like pulling on a boot and just do a little bit and go for it.
Yeah.
But this was a whole different world. It took a number of months, and actually wasn't walking freely until this year.
Really?
And
Yeah, they say basically you have to learn how to rewalk all over again. Yeah.
yeah, as an above, because you're walking with all different muscles. And I've done, but I've been fortunate to do a number of things with it and figure out how to adapt.
Right.
You can't get it wet, so
Can't get it wet.
nope.
Okay, so as far as, say there's people out there that are maybe contemplating this,
Amputation?
or amputation, and so I know, do you have to go in every so often and get refitted? I know as a child you would because you're growing, but as far as,
You do. I just recently, I gained 150 pounds at the car accident, and I recently lost, well, not recently, but I mean, I met a 100-pound loss of it, so I had to get a whole different
Right.
leg done. And so you do, and you have to go in and you get it checked. The unfortunate parts of it is it's very expensive. It's very expensive.
so how do you cover the cost? Did the insurance?
No. A lot of insurances will cover very little of a prosthetic. And the one I have is called a C-leg. It's got a computer chip in it. It detects your steps almost before you, and if you're falling, it'll slow you down
So you don't
can
fall.
stop yourself
Okay.
from falling. You can loosen it up, speed it up, so that you can do activities
Right.
that a lot of above knees can't do. But you have to prove a level of physical fitness before you can qualify for it. So a lot of people say they're getting it they are getting an amputation because of diabetes. They might not get approved for this level of a leg, but there are other levels of legs. Because insurance doesn't want to cover this high of a level.
Gotta love insurance.
Yeah, and the copays, most insurance are asking for copays of 20 to 40%. Mine was 20%. 20% copay. All I got was just a part of it refit, and the 20% copay on it was $3,500.
Wow.
I
Do they have like trials, clinical trials?
No.
For things like this, or?
No. For, of course, military is different, and there's higher levels of legs that the military get. But even they have trouble. There's not even really that organizations in the country that help people. Amputations are on the rise, and
Do you think that's because of the war we're in right now, maybe? Or just
yes, but they are,
because gives you a better
of course.
life? You know,
Oh, it is because military people are coming back needing them.
right.
So the positive out of that is it's really caused them to advance prosthetics quickly, and they are doing some incredible work. From what I understand, a lot of it is due to the rise of diabetes.
Isn't that crazy? You think with society and all the advances in technology and everything have that. With diabetes, they're like, they say there's close to cancer cures and whatever. You think it would be on the down instead of the up.
Well,
But obesity is up
right,
higher too. So.
Right. That's the other thing is that trauma. From what I think, I just read the statistic recently, and I still think one of the highest, if it said it correctly, was traumatic accidents. Like I am meeting a lot of people who are in my situation who decided years later, after their accident, that the pain wasn't worth it. That was my case. The pain wasn't worth it, and my leg was completely. I wasn't going to walk on it.
So it gives you a better,
Oh yeah.
more of a life now.
Oh yeah. Well, the below especially did. The above, yes, but the freedom. I have a poem about how it just gave me back freedom. I didn't mind using the wheelchair because I felt like that was, hey, it was better than not being around.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of chances that they didn't think I was going to make it. I had severe burns. In 1988, I had an accident in my college dorm. I must be pretty accident prone. And it ended me up in a burn
Starting to
unit.
scare me here now. No. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Don't
And
be
she's
around
your
me.
friend? No, just kidding.
And I was in a burn unit for quite a long time with full thickness burns on 78% of my body. And I have a poem about that, about when they came in and said, "You're not going to make it. That's just how it is. What plan would you like to make?" And I am meeting people who were in that situation as well. So one of the really good things that has come out of this, a lot of good things have come out of this, is that I am meeting a number of magnificent people. I don't think I would be doing the poetry.
I was going to ask that, so I didn't know if you were doing that before the.
It wasn't.
When my son died, this is kind of my thing, and my youngest son is a professional screenwriter, filmmaker. Mm-hmm. So luckily he had that to put he's great at putting his emotions into writing. Me, not so much. I'm a talker, I'm going to say it, but so it's good. People, sometimes it takes a traumatic experience, and especially since I've been, having different people on the show and doing, talking about suicide and things, but to have that outlet is good. And people don't realize they have that inside of them until it takes something traumatic.
I, at that time, was riding medical vans, and one of my van drivers, I had gotten on the van with him, and he just struck me for some reason, and we immediately started talking, and we found out we had all this in common, and I had mentioned some of the work I had done around in San Francisco around Mumia Abu-Jamal, and he quoted him, and I'm just like kind of staring at him like, wow, whoa, wait, I have been in Omaha now, and I've you just quoted him, and then he talked about like Woody Guthrie, and he played my favorite Bob Dylan album, the one that I listened to in the nursing home to keep loneliness at bay, and then he picked me up at the hospital after my knee replacement, and he said, "Can I do a poem for you?" And I was like, "Sure." And he did one, and I was kind of expecting to, and it was fantastic.
So you're thinking kind of a sad poem, but he didn't come up with a sad poem.
I wasn't thinking sad at all. No, I was thinking it was going to be mushy love poem.
Oh,
and
just
I
opposite.
do not
Okay.
do a mushy love poem for me because I will turn around and walk away. And
I can see that with you, just a little bit. I've known you already, so.
Yeah, unless it's really, I don't know. But anyway, it was very good and very political and very current, and it had a fantastic rhythm. And then he suggested, so we stayed friends, and he called me, and he was like, "You should do a poem." I'm like, "I don't write poems." He's like, "Try it." So I did one, and he took me to Verbal Gumbo to do it, and I was like, "Oh, I am not getting up here but I did, and it was very warm, and it was very receptive, and it was fantastic.
It lit a light in you, didn't it?
Yeah, yes, and then I kept going and kept writing, and now it is it's all the time, and I do poems about that point out body image and self-acceptance and things along those lines. And so this is he and I are no longer friends, but you think you have to look at experiences, and had I not been headed to physical therapy, had I not been in the hospital, I would have never met him.
Right.
And he not only got me on this path, we moved in together downtown, and I ended up meeting all these people that I would not have met had I remained out in Bellevue. I was living out in a senior complex with the seniors. It just opened up this whole world, and you just have to think that not only do people come into your life, which is what he did, that I will always believe that was his purpose, was brought here to get me going and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. In the same breath, I think losing my leg and having all the burn scars has opened me up to be able to reach out to these other people. So now I do this peer support, and I motivate other amputees to try to get up and get moving because they don't want to go, and especially when you're above knee, it's so hard.
That is great in itself. Not too.
Now, we talked about Kevin.
Yeah.
We were just, yeah.
I don't know if you caught the show a couple weeks ago.
I did, yep.
So yes, man.
See, and that's what our show's kind of about. That's exactly what the show's about. It's to bring people true stories of people, how they're taking, something that happened to them and bringing positive into the world. So hopefully it makes people look at what we've gone through. Mm-hmm. And it's an everyday process.
It is.
Me, you, and, our guests that have been on. And people need to look at their life, and some people have it and they still complain, even though they haven't went through the tribulations or the little bumps in the road that maybe other people have. So hopefully we can uplift people.
Right.
So you're a perfect guest, and I think we are very fortunate that the guests we do have on our show are, because you're going to touch somebody tonight. And I said that last week, with Kevin's, you can see talking about it, how your face lights up. And I said that to Kevin's sister also. You think you can't talk about it, but it brings a smile to your face. Because you're making a difference to somebody. Somebody's going to get this.
I have had people come up to me. I get messages probably daily from someone who has said, "Oh, I heard you do a poem." People come up to me in tears after my poems. But the thing is, or then they start opening up to me and they start telling me what they've been through. It might be somebody who looks like, I grew up in the foster homes. I did not have it, all that. I didn't have it any different from, unfortunately, thousands of other kids out there. But I still, even at this age, have a little chip on my shoulder about West Omaha kids. And then I will have one of them come up to me in tears and start opening up about what's been going on with them. And I have to remember that just because you have that life doesn't mean that it's easy.
Right.
And the other thing is that I absolutely, oh my gosh, went through this period of huge insecurity, and it was horrible. And the friends who stuck by me were incredible. That I lost a couple of valuable friends. Mm-hmm. We destroyed each other because of it. And the other thing is that it caused me to go to therapy. It caused me to search out the help. So even though I'm helping people, for the first time in my life, I reached a suicide level. And it wasn't about the limbs. It wasn't about my body. It wasn't about the way I look, any of that.
Right.
It was about the fact that I just absolutely couldn't let myself relate to people. I couldn't let myself trust anyone anymore. And once you started doing the work, it was because of everything that had happened.
Right.
And it is great when you can meet people who then trust you enough because of what you've gone through to open up to you. And then you can direct them.
Yes. If you speak from the heart, no one can deny you your truth. That is what I say.
Yes, that's fantastic. I have people walking up who come up to me now on the streets. I have a poem that's called I think, can I say ass?
Go ahead.
It says it's called My Ass Looks Like a Ham. And it's a very
Hey,
positive.
we're not censored here, so go for it.
Okay,
So.
yeah, it's called My Ass Looks Like a Ham, and it's a very positive poem. But it'll be funny because I'll be walking somewhere and I'll have somebody go, "Hey, ass ham, ass ham," and I'm like, so now I'm kind of like, wow, I'm getting to be known as ass ham. But that's a benefit to me.
Well, so, and like you said, you lost friends. I've lost when, people consider suicide, like I told before, like a sin, or, and some people still haven't talked to me to this day, and they don't, and so I totally understand where you're coming from.
Well,
And I'm not afraid, and we need to talk about it. And like I always say every week, you need to talk about what you're going through. You need to, because you can't, I can talk about my son and not absolutely break into tears, because I can't bring him back. I can't change it.
right.
So if I can reach out, when we had the blood drive a couple weeks ago, a mother brought her teenage daughter in, and had thought about, her mom thought she was going to, and so she brought her in so I could talk to her. So knowing, you don't think you're, sometimes I like, why am I doing what I'm doing? But then you get positive feedback, like, I listened to the show and I told somebody else they got to listen to it because, what you guys talked about, and knowing that, and like you're talking about West Omaha, kids and stuff. I work with West Omaha kids on weekends, and these kids are going through things a lot, and people just think, because they have money, not necessarily.
Right.
Not necessarily. They're going through hardships. Parents aren't home. We've talked about that before.
Yep.
And they don't give them a time of day. And what I saw this yesterday, it's not good, when the parents are involved. So, yeah, people, and I brought up before that statistics years ago, I was getting ready to do an event where the highest rated teen suicides were from Millard South.
Yes.
The highest rated teen pregnancy was Millard North. And I'm not calling out schools. This was way back when. I don't know what the statistics are now. But think about it. They always put everything back on North Omaha. That's garbage, people. I'm sorry. It's a whole different situation just because, but then you see a lot of, my friend, thoughts are with you tonight, Amy. Her daughter got killed in West Omaha at Passion's Bar. So it doesn't matter.
No.
So stop dividing West, North, South Omaha from all this.
It's all Omaha.
It's everywhere, anywhere.
My my dad was a cab driver, and so we were all over. I ended up graduating from Boys Town, back when they didn't have a lot of girls.
When were you at Boys Town? Just
1983 to 1987.
I used to be a coach out there, so I was just.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, then you might have coached one of my siblings. And the thing is that my friends from Boys Town are still my closest friends to this day, and then a couple people that I have met along the way. But we we were laughing because I grew up spending a good portion of my life in North Omaha because I rode along with my dad in his cab, and that's where he did most of his business out of. And I didn't even realize until I came back from California after living out in San Francisco and Oakland just how divided Omaha was.
Oh, yeah.
And we and just started continuing the work from California to here, and then I had my accident, and the kids that I was meeting through the organization that I was working with out of West Omaha, yeah, some of the suicide rates out of Lincoln were at some of the wealthier schools.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that I have these people that when I thought I was going to do it, this person who would never talk to me again came back in and gave me a hug. I used to work with prisoners out in California, and I was talking recently with a woman who was a corrections officer, and she said, I just hugged him every night. I couldn't help it. And she said, the power of a hug to somebody who has not experienced hugs. I did not have a hug from the age of 12 to 16. Just that contact can do a lot to stop somebody from committing that suicide.
Right. But this is what's really bad now. Compared to then to now, you even touch a child
Yes,
now.
that's true.
Being a boys coach,
Yeah.
they're always like, because the boys would always come and give me a hug. They go, no, and that's why they won't let a woman into coaching boys because of the physicality, and yeah, you can't do that nowadays.
Right.
You can barely touch a child. Neither
Right.
the parent will take it the wrong way, or their kid will go home and go, well, so it's, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, and it's sad.
It is sad.
It's sad because we need more
We do.
compassion
We do.
and love and the feeling of touch. I mean, when a baby's born, if you didn't give the baby, cradle that baby, it would emotionally not grow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So what's the difference if we do it to an adult
Right.
or a child? Children need that, and we can't give it to them.
For me, at this period, it was not too long ago that I was seriously contemplating the suicide, which was, and I have people telling me all the time now that I'm opening up about, not just seriously contemplating about it, I had renamed my, any access to money down the road, I had rerouted that. I had set up the accounts in my brother's name. I had switched everything. I mean, I was ready. And I've heard from everybody now since that they were like, wait, you're like the one who walks into the room and you light up the room. You're the one who like everybody calls. You're the one who...
So is my son.
And the thing is that I was so lonely. I had not been hurt like I had just been hurt. I'd never experienced that in my life. Even through everything I had been through, I'd never experienced this kind of hurt. And I didn't know what to do with it, and I was lost, and I didn't want to struggle. I kept looking. I was like, I don't want to put that leg on anymore. I don't want to work out every day. I don't want to. And then I get this message. My phone goes off, and I'm like, I don't want to check my phone. It was a message from a poet, total random message. It just said, hey, where you been? Missed you. I didn't even know that this poet and I were really even that close of friends, right? Because I had been doubting myself. And then a couple of days later, I get a text from another poet. Then it says, hey, Trace, have a good afternoon.
Yeah.
And it's like that was actually from the poet who's on my arm. And he's an amazing poet in town. His name is DeVell. And if you get a chance to hear him, he goes by Developing Crisp. He's fantastic. He's part of the Wordsmiths. Oh, if you get a chance to see the Wordsmiths, go see them. Whoa, your mind will be blown. And so I kept looking down at his quote of "Love didn't do that to you." And then I have another one from someone else that I had that says, "If you would only see what I see." And people kept, if we just do that to each other,
Right.
this community of poets and writers and musicians that I have met and have just randomly you get messages from people, and I'm sure if they're doing it to me, they're doing it to other people.
Right, and it's the littlest things, the positivity, and you talk about you were lonely. Now seeing back with my son was always the one who's always put people in a good mood, and blah blah blah. And then so when he did that, people were like, Steve, you're Steve, because I always try to, and I was like, 2 years he planned it, I had no clue, and the little bit of positive, and he was calling people he hadn't talked to for years. Just, how you doing? Just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. He was kind of saying goodbye to people, but trying to build, and people are saying, oh, I miss his spirit. I miss my friend. Just, if ever I had a bad day, I would call him. Not thinking that, and then they feel guilty because if he would have called them. No, you can't feel guilty because you're living with something. You know what you're dealing with.
Right.
But that positivity that somebody gave you changed your mind.
Yes.
And give you, and and we always give a hug. We always said I love you and stuff. But sometimes you don't know what somebody's going through. He had this inner demon that I had no clue. So you see these 15-year-old kids every day. It's been, running away from home, hanging them, all different things. And I don't know. I don't know what we can do as society to change it. And I don't know
either.
Because not enough love, because I gave, I love my son more than anything in the world, and it wasn't enough.
With me, it had to come from me. It
Right.
had to be, because you meet somebody who speaks your language, friend, whatever role they take in your life, and you still feel lonely. I was surrounded by people who spoke my language. I was surrounded by people who loved and adored me.
Right.
That wasn't the loneliness. It was that self-acceptance loneliness. And I don't think we can't just teach self-esteem as much as there's a woman in town. I am naming names because I need to be named. Her name is Sharita, and she has a movement called the Love Movement. That is fantastic. I don't know if you know With Love Felicia Webster.
Mm-hmm.
Her son dances up at Hope Skate with Antoine Lamont in the Millionaires Club where my daughter dances.
Right.
So I actually, another small Omaha thing, I met her when my daughter's school, Ashland Park Robbins, had a family night at the Croc Center, and she was teaching art at the Croc Center.
Nice.
So then, just randomly, a couple months ago, she was up at Hope Skate, and I'm like, man, she looks familiar. I don't know where I know her from, but then she leaves, and then I'm asking Antoine, hey, what is her name? And he says her name. I'm like, oh man, I think I know her from the Croc Center. He's like, yeah, she's like art, yeah. And
Yeah.
Like, okay, so the next time I saw her, I talked to her about that. So yes, I've seen her a couple times recently.
Right. She's another one who's very much got a love movement going on. And my really good friend of mine, when I reached out to her, she's like amazing little mess herself. That's what we tease ourselves, We're like these fantastic imperfect messes, and we need to see each other as that and realize that that's what makes us fantastic.
Right.
We're never going to be perfect. I mean, I have a poem about a preacher who told me that I would never be attractive again because of the way that I had ruined my temple because I sinned too much. So I have a poem about that. But I consider this like an imperfect, beautiful temple.
Right.
And she said to me, you aren't thinking about all of us if you kill yourself. Because I was like, I was past the point of doing it at this point, but I still had to, I needed to know where to go. And she was like, you're not thinking about. And she's like, and you've even lost people to suicide. And I know how angry it made you. And she's like, imagine if all this world that you're finally touching, and now you decide to do something that's selfish. Now she's like, I don't know that the reasons behind it are selfish. But, and so we were discussing just that, how there needs to be more access to help, how there needs to be more access so that people can find a place to
Right.
go. And there's a couple of hotlines, but unfortunately people without money, and it's still such a stigma that you can't really talk about it. But the
No, and I think that's a door. I mean, well, I don't think. I know that it's a door that we always want to open. I mean, whatever society is saying, we shouldn't talk about. That's what we want to talk about.
That's what we talk about on here.
You know?
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things like that especially. I mean, just think of how many people we've lost that could have possibly added so much to
Right.
the world because they didn't feel comfortable talking to someone
Right,
else.
and you're talking about being selfish. I just started feeling, I just went through the emotion of anger. It's been 3 years, and because, football, see all the different things we did together, I was like, and for the first time probably 6 months ago, I was like, I'm mad at him. Because when he first died, I went into a couple places he went to, and they're like, you ought to be mad at him. I go, he just died.
Yeah.
You can't tell me, how can I be mad at him? He's not here. But yeah, I just went through the anger. Or maybe I just admit it, because he made the choice to have it that well planned out for that long a period and made a video will and 5 pages. He left everything completely taken care of.
Yeah, so that's how I had it.
Yeah, he completely knew, we always say that he'd never planned anything his whole life, but he had this so planned out. The way he died and everything was completely planned. That he was, he never considered himself smart, but the way he did it, he was brilliant. I mean, I hate to say because that's a positive thing, but he was brilliant in the way he did everything. But he never gave himself credit for being smart.
Yeah.
Because he was always knocked down, I hate to say it, by another parent for not being perfect. Like you said, being perfect. What you see is what you give me. I don't, you'll see me in sweatpants or shorts. I'm not a dressy type person, but.
Neither am I.
And then but then if you have another part of society that expects that of you, and you can't live up to that expectation, and then the love you have for a partner goes away. That's just one more thing to add on, and that was another part of, why he did what he did. But it's an easy way out. I'm going to say it.
It is.
It's an easy way out,
Yep.
And here I'm talking about my son, but no, it's an easy way out. I will say that to anybody now and he knew how bad it was going to hurt me, but he didn't do it it had nothing to do with me.
Right.
It had nothing to do, personally, physically, emotionally, to do with me. He took all the blame on himself that he had to do this. So, but these kids, it's just, and we talked about before, and I've told parents and different, who've reached out to me that it's hard to talk to a parent, a teacher, somebody close to you, because number one, they're afraid they're going to tell somebody else. Okay? So I think there needs to be a group, and I said I would be happy to come talk to these youth groups as just a person to listen, not to give advice, just to listen.
Right.
And I think they need that, out there, because look how and it seems to be the age of 15. That seems to be the age that is affected. I mean, I would not want to be a teenager in today's society with all the social media and, all that stuff going on, and...
Well, and I think, it all stems back again to what we talked about at the beginning of the show. People are just mean nowadays. It's not like it used to be. So,
but they're not. But if we bring the personality, the person one-to-one contact, if we bring the emotional contact back to people, we're not going to say something mean to each other right now because we're sitting here.
Right.
But you get on Facebook,
yeah,
or you get on a text, it's a whole different ballgame.
Facebook can be quite damaging.
Yeah, it could be a positive but a negative thing same time.
I try not to give out any negativity on
And
social
we
media.
don't. And
So,
I say if you're going to, I don't want to hear it.
there's enough of it out there. They don't need me adding
No.
more to it. So
No.
Yeah, right now especially Facebook has opened the door to meeting a lot of the amputees, fellow amputees.
if used in the right way,
Yeah.
Right.
it could be
right.
a great tool.
But it could
Oh,
also be a
fantastic.
weapon. It could also be a
especially
weapon.
with teenagers. Mm-hmm. I have seen the bullying that goes on now. It's a whole nother level of bullying.
No, we had a whole month we talked about nothing but bullying.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and it even occurs with adults. That's
yeah.
That's it.
It's just too easy out there to,
It is, and
And I think parents need to, I don't care if they're 15, 16 or whatever, I think parents need to see what's their
I
kids
agree.
have on their Facebook.
I agree.
I
I'm not
think,
a parent, but
they need to. Plus, Facebook can affect your job. What you're putting on there now could affect you 10 years from now, or 20 years from now.
And I try to tell young people, you might be applying for a job. Employers nowadays, they go to social media.
Exactly.
To find out who you are, and
The language, the pictures, whatever.
So and they don't even have to.
And they can get your phone records.
Well, and it doesn't even have to be directly from your page.
Nope.
You could be a friend of a friend of a friend.
Right.
Someone shares your status, and then they see that, and hey, then you go and apply for a job, and they're like, no.
Right. Yeah. So, it can be a positive plus a negative. It's the best PR in the world because it's free.
right.
To promote stuff, but man, stuff that's happening. You think back last 10 years, not even 10 years it's been around. Think about all the bad that's come of it. All that's come of it.
Oh, I have to tell, I will suggest to other people, don't put certain pictures on Facebook. And just don't do it. Don't put them in your texts. Don't put them, because like you said, phone records are, even if you think you've deleted.
Oh, it's out there.
It's out there.
So, and also the other thing that is lost is the respect. When everything's just out there, there's not that wonderful respect. You have certain people in your life who really you share just that stuff with.
Right.
You're certain friends and certain people, and that's a beauty. That's a connection that's kind of reserved for that inner group. Once you start putting it out there, now all of a sudden respect gets lost. There's misinterpretations. There's talk. There's just, and you
Definitely doesn't help their self-esteem for kids.
no,
it's
not
just,
at all.
Somebody put something on Facebook. I think it was through Facebook, but they had a bomb threat at Pavilion La Vista South
I
today.
saw that on the news today.
Oh,
I was at the
Twitter.
dentist's office.
Twitter.
It was Twitter.
Yeah.
Because they said it, and they could have been joking to somebody, but somebody took it serious, which they should. They should, but, that's another one, Twitter. Look how many people get Twitter, So, yeah, I don't, and it's just going to get worse because there's no way to curtail it.
Well, and this is the thing. As much as we say people are negative and whatnot, we try to put the focus onto positive things. Like right now, for instance, I could show you a video of a cop going Christmas shopping with a neighborhood kid, and it may get 20 views. But if I show you a video of a cop beating up,
Oh, it's going to
someone,
get 160,000.
reshared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out. Oh. People like to focus on the negative. I don't know why it's so easy to focus on that, but people tend to just.
Because some people are just negative people.
They,
You know, I put something out there today. I reposted, and you probably got it, but it showed the year 2014, and it showed the 4 people who died to cop brutality. So let's hope 2015 is better. But in 2014, all it showed was that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I do it. I recently shared a video of. That's why I was thinking of it. Of, I think, I don't know if it was Omaha or Bellevue PD, but going shopping. There was pictures of them in the retail store wherever they were at, taking these kids from the community out shopping. They do it every year.
Right.
I think they give them a budget of like $50 or $100 or something like that. I think maybe 16 people even saw it. Now, if I were to go and
Right.
those
I mean,
videos,
right.
I mean, yeah. And then there'd be a ton of comments saying, "Oh, blah blah blah."
And people, you take that negativity, and then they make it to what they want it to be.
Right.
They make it out to what they want, even though it might not be the whole story or the
Right.
truth.
I've had to.
Yeah, it's just like
I've decided that
whole different show, like we
Recently,
always
yes.
talk about. It's a whole
Yes.
different show.
recently Facebook just has to be positive, and I've had people saying, "Are you going to write a poem around what's been happening?" And I might, no.
There's enough attention on it.
And yeah, so I'm working actually on a series about bluegrass music. There is one of the poems is racial, because I'm doing the history and showing how people don't recognize how much Black America had
Right.
created bluegrass music, and so I'm like, but it'll end up positive, and that's what I try to do with my
See, there you go,
poetry.
LeBron James wearing "I Can't Breathe" shirt.
I'm
right
trying
now.
to start with I always try to start my poetry out with the truth, but I always try to end it on a good note. And that's what people keep telling me. They're like, your work is so raw and it's so real, but I still feel better after I've heard it. And that's what I want to hear. If I stop making you feel better, then I need to figure out what my intention is.
Right.
Right.
And I think we should do that as a society.
Well, yeah, I don't know how we're going to change it.
I don't either, but we will.
So, but we'll
Well,
just
we-
do
we-
our little parts.
Yep.
Just do our little parts and our
Yep.
little. Okay, to bring it up next week, we will. We're taking a week off. It is the 1-year anniversary of a girl. Like I said, got killed at Passion's Bar. I used to babysit her when she was a little girl, so it's very personal with me. But they're going to have a graveside memorial for her, and then so I feel like I need to be with Amy that night. So we'll take the week off, but yeah, I think the next week we need to bring some positive cheer into Christmas time somehow. We'll come up with something. So that will be a positive thing. So, we do always try to make the things positive, and you were definitely a positive person to have on tonight.
Oh,
So we
thanks.
try to take the things that end up being, start out not so positive, but you made it. People made it.
The light in the dark.
The light in the dark. So,
Well, before we do head out of here, I always like to give people a chance to shout out whatever it is that they do. So, as you are a poet, is there somewhere that people can come out and see you in the coming weeks?
Well, this Saturday is the Omaha Slam, and Kansas City Slam team is coming up to slam as well. So you'll
Tell them to
get
bring some barbecue.
okay, now explain to people what slam. I know what it means, but
poetry slam is where you have 3 rounds. You have people starting out, and you compete, and there's 5 random judges in the crowd. The other thing that I'd like to say is that Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock is a teen slam. So if you are 18 and younger and you're a poet and you want to come out, please do. It's a very good time. It's a warm community. There's an open mic at the slam at the Ohm Center, the adult slam, and the other thing is that it'll be in Lincoln, but on the 27th, whichever one is the Monday, 27th or 28th. I'll be doing a 45-minute feature down in Lincoln.
Oh, cool.
But
So do you have a Facebook page that people can go to?
just my Facebook, I don't even know what it is, to be quite
Well,
honest.
we'll get the information. We'll repost it on our Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay, or you can post it, comment on our Facebook page, and we'll put it out there
But
for
yeah,
you.
go out to the Ohm Center on Saturday if you're looking for something to do, to hear some good poetry.
And where's that located?
It is at 13th and Howard, right next to the Subway in the Old Market.
Okay,
okay.
got
Real
it.
small shop.
All right. Well, again, we'd like to thank our guest, Trace, and not to be confused with Marge, but Shot.
There you go again. You're going to make your
I
negative
might,
person walking
I
out
might
here.
get shot
Go
if I no, but we'll see you in 2 weeks, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Been always a pleasure, my
Always
friend.
a pleasure. So
Thank you.
I'll miss not doing this next Monday, but I'll survive.
You'll be sitting at home thinking, "Oh, thank God, we don't have to do this
No, I
again."
love
No, I'm
coming
just.
here.
I do too.
I do,
I do too. But I feel like I need to be there more. So
Yeah, I understand. Well, thank you again, Trace.
Thank you.
All right, you guys have a good night.
All right.
Thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night.